What is up, guys? John L here. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. We're going to be playing Double Dragon. So before I get into Double Dragon, I just want to talk a little bit about it. We're going to be playing the Nintendo version of Double Dragon, which is probably one of the worst ports of the Double Dragon game. And I say that not because of like graphics or sound or anything like that, but I think it really loses what Double Dragon was. So Double Dragon originally is an arcade game, and it was like Street Fighter 2 in the 80s. So Street Fighter 2 I think was like a 90s thing. It everybody was going crazy. Everybody was trying to play Street Fighter 2. Double Dragon was like that for the 80s. So whenever there was a Double Dragon machine, people were on it playing. It was a beat 'em up. It was awesome. It's a two-player game. You're always playing with a friend or someone else is joining in. Just a lot of fun. At the time, the graphics were really good for an arcade game. I definitely remember that. I remember playing. I remember, the bobos and all the crazy music and all that kind of stuff like that. It was an experience. It was totally cool. If you are able to find like a retro arcade or something like that and they have Double Dragon, pop a few quarters in there. You'll have a lot of fun. But anyways, Double Dragon, just the name Double Dragon, like two players. So the NES version, for some reason, opted only to go one player. I'm not quite sure what the reason was. Probably had to do something with technical stuff, like just not enough memory or this and that for incorporating two players. From the screen, you can see that there is two-player modes. That's a little bit deceptive. It just means that you'll be playing alternating, which sucks because that's not how you should play Double Dragon. Double Dragon is definitely a lot more fun when you can just get in there with a friend and just start punching guys and kicking guys and all that kind of stuff. I do remember the Nintendo port coming out, and I remember it also being the first cartridge that cost $49.99 versus $39.99. To my recollection, every Nintendo game up until that point had been $39.99, which was crazy. And as soon as it came out, I wanted to get it because it was Double Dragon and it was cool and everything, and I was a little bit disappointed in the fact that it was only one player and also that there were no continues. It's actually a really difficult game, especially if you're kind of a young kid, and which is also kind of a step away from what Double Dragon was in the arcades because it's a coin guzzler. You should be able to continue and keep going and just keep, beating up guys. I don't think I actually beat the arcade version of the game. I do remember hearing things like, if you died on the last boss, you'd have to start over from the beginning, something like that. I do know that if you played two players in the arcade, you had to go against the other player. Like, you guys had to fight at the end. Spoiler alert, but, the last boss is the other guy. So, it's a little bit disappointing that stuff didn't get in here. The Sega Master System version, for some reason, was able to incorporate two players, and pretty much every other version that came out, I think, had two players going. But for some reason, the Nintendo version just didn't. So, anyways, it's pretty good. That's crazy right there, especially with today. I don't think that there'd be any game that would just be so blatant with the violence against women. You see like a lady getting gut punched right there. And in the arcade, one of the cool things was like literally after the guy punches your girlfriend and takes her away, the garage door opens up and out comes Billy and Jimmy. So it was just a really fun and weird thing. But the Nintendo version does have some cool stuff. It's got really good graphics for what it was at the time. And the action is pretty good, pretty faithful, I guess I would say. One of the cool things about the game also is that it has this extra moves kind of leveling up system, which almost makes it a little bit like an RPG. So, depending on what attack you do, you get experience points, and these experience points like level you up. Like I gained a level right there, like every 1,000 points, and you unlock new moves. Now it kind of sucks because some of the moves are just normal moves in the arcade game, like the jump kick. You don't have that to start with. I think the uppercut and the spin kick or whatever are part of it too, and you need to level up to get those. But with the Nintendo game, you know, they added some other cool stuff, I think like hair pulling and some of the other moves that you get later on. Anyways, what you really want to do if you want to beat this game though is just punch everything in the beginning, because you want to be able to get to the hair pull, which is the 6th level. Oh, I'm doing like pretty terribly. So we're literally just going to try to punch everything except for maybe the Lindas. We want to make sure that they don't get the whip on us. So what you want to also get familiar with is where your life will get replenished. So when you go from screen to screen, in certain instances, your life will get replenished. So we want to just make sure that we're getting like the most out of the experience that we can get. Alright, we're getting a little bit close to... Alright, that was just about as tight as you want to get. So I think they incorporated the cool thing here. If you actually like move over and climb on this railing thing, you can go up and kind of climb up and die. It's a weird kind of glitch, but... So you can see the headbutt right there. I think that's a move that is new to the Nintendo version. So you can knock these guys down the conveyor belt, but again, we want to get as much experience as we can. And here's our first encounter with Abobo, the all too famous Abobo. So none of this should be like really difficult, although I'm definitely making it look kind of difficult. That's pretty good. So anyways, that was the first level. We did pretty good. I'm gonna take a break, and then we will pick up in mission 2. Alright, so I will see you guys then.